My forge wagon creaked into Lost Creek Sanctuary on a Tuesday, and the first thing I saw was pure, untouched silence. A tall man stood among 20 motionless Mustangs, his eyes the color of worn saddle leather and just as quiet. He didn't speak a greeting, only lifted a hand calloused like tree bark and gestured toward the corral gate softly. I learned his name was Orin from a carved sign, and that he hadn't spoken a single word in 7 years. The locals whispered about a wildfire that stole his voice and his young wife on the same terrifying smoke-choked night. I was there simply to shoe and trim, but the horses told me stories Orin never could articulate with any human language. A scarred bay mare with a split ear approached me first, and I traced the healed wound with professional, gentle wonder. Orin watched me read her past through her body, and I felt his attention like a physical, warming touch on skin. I pressed my palm flat against the mare's shoulder, and I murmured, "She carried you through the flames, didn't she?" He nodded so slightly it might have been the wind, but his eyes brimmed with a decade of tightly guarded tears. Over supper, he sketched a wildfire on a napkin, then pointed to the mare's split ear and finally his own heart. I reached across the rough-hewn table and touched his knuckles, and a new, fragile language sparked between our breathless fingers. Each day I worked the herd, and each day Orin revealed another rescued Mustang with a body map of old sorrow. He wrote in the dirt, "They saved me back," and I felt those 3 words tattoo themselves permanently onto my chest. I started waking before sunrise to watch him move through the band like a silent symphony conductor made of muscle and mercy. He taught me the trick of breathing with a nervous horse, and soon we were breathing together under the vast Wyoming sky. I photographed him pressing his forehead to a silver stallion's blaze, and my heart clicked louder than any shutter could capture. One evening, a violent thunderstorm rolled over the basin, and the herd spooked into a blind, churning panic of survival. Orin ran straight into the chaos, and I followed because my soul already understood I would follow him through any darkness. We calmed them together, our bodies pressed close around a trembling foal, and lightning revealed tears streaking his beautiful face. Afterward, he finally wrote on a piece of bark, "You hear the very thing I lost," and I kissed his trembling knuckles. The next morning, I shot the bay mare with careful, reverent hands, and Orin offered me a turquoise stone he'd found. He pointed to the stone, then to my eyes, and I knew he was telling me my spirit matched the ancient earth. I forged a small iron heart and looped it on a leather cord, then tied it gently around his motionless, bowed neck. He closed his eyes, and I could feel the 7 years of loneliness cracking like creek ice in the spring thaw. I wrote letters to my farrier clients further along the trail, telling them I might not be coming back this season. My forge now lived beside his cabin, and my heart now lived inside the quiet cathedral of his steadfast, wordless devotion. We began gentling a blind Mustang filly together, and Orin's patience taught me that love is a daily, quiet, gentle rope. The first time the filly nickered to his touch, Orin's laugh came out as a sharp, surprised, beautiful, hoarse breath of joy. That small, broken sound was the most gorgeous declaration of love I have ever received in my 32 years. I cupped his face and said, "I don't need words, Orin. I just need you beside me until the last trail ends." He wrote in charcoal on a split log, "You were the wild horse I never knew I needed," and I wept openly. We had built a round pen out of aspen poles, and he proposed inside it by tying a willow ring around my finger. Our wedding guests were 42 Mustangs, 2 ranch hands, and a pastor who signed the ceremony from a prayer book. Orin wrote his vows on a leather scroll and held them up while I read the words aloud with a breaking voice. He promised to guard my quiet, to honor my craft, and to always lead me to fresh water and green pasture. I promised to be the forge fire that keeps the cold away, and to learn the language of his breathing forever. That night we danced under a meteor shower while the blind filly circled us, trusting the sound of our boots. Word spread about the mute horseman and his farrier wife, who healed Mustangs without ever raising their voices to command. A filmmaker came and wanted to capture the story, but Orin simply drew a picture of us and handed it over. The drawing was better than any documentary. It showed two people holding hands inside a horse's gentle, all-knowing, luminous eye. I continued traveling, but now Orin rode beside me with a pack string of his gentlest ambassadors proving the sanctuary's message. In every town we visited, a stoic cowboy wept after touching a wild horse that Orin had lifted from slaughter's shadow. 10 years have passed, and the blind filly is now a broodmare who nuzzles my very pregnant belly with ancient wisdom. Orin still has not spoken a single English word aloud, yet I've heard him say, "I love you," in 10 million ways. He writes it in the dust, he braids it into horsehair ropes, and he whispers it through every creature he touches. Our daughter, Wren, was born with her father's quietness and her mother's fire, and she speaks fluent horse before any English. Last week, Orin carved into the barn door, "Heaven is a herd, and you are my lead Mari, and I am." Western Old Stories official shares this truth. The deepest love often rides in without a sound, so listen with your whole heart.